Hey, good morning. Welcome to the swamp. It is so hot already. Well, I ran this morning and it was like just so humid. Never fails though, right? First week of school, when the kids have all their new clothes they want to wear, they can't wear them because it's like full on summer still. But anyhow, you know, there's worse things in life, right? All right, let's get started. Sorry about yesterday. This week is crazy. Yesterday was the first day of school for my youngest, who started grade 9. And I don't know when they started this, but I know they had this with my daughter as well. It was grade 9 day, where you go to school with your kid. Well, grade 9 day is a day where only the grade 9s go to school. So, you know, to be honest, I'm not sure why the parents need to go. I like the idea of the grade 9 day part, where the kids get to go to their new school, familiarize themselves with where they're going, where the classes are, whatnot. Some of the schools are quite large. Like my daughter's school that she went to was like a small city. It is massive. The boys went to a different high school, so it's not quite as big. But I'm not sure why the parents need to go. But anyways, and lots of parents don't go. Lots of kids are like, no, I don't want my parents there with me, and my kids do. So it was my Dixon's first day grade 9 and my last grade 9 day because he's my youngest. Anyway, so that was my day yesterday. Before I go on and carry on babbling away about whatever I'm going to babble about today, I want to welcome you to the first of the new series. This is going to be the first of the new series called Fail Forward. It's like a twist on fall forward. Maybe I should call it fall forward. What did I say I was going to call it? Anyways, regardless, this is the first of the new series, and really all that means is if you're doing these classes is we break them up so that some of you don't do them live, right? I record them all live on Facebook. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday mornings at 9:15 a.m. Eastern Time. I'm in Ontario. So if you want to join us live, you just have to go to the Facebook group called the Daily Move Community and join that Facebook group, and you can do these sessions with us live in the Facebook group. Once I'm done, I upload them to YouTube and I give them a name. And so what I do is, for those of you, which is the majority, there's only a handful of people who actually do these live with us in the Facebook group, but most people do them as replays on YouTube, and so I break them up into seasons, if you will, so that I think sometimes it's nice for us to have like a beginning and an end. It feels like we've accomplished something versus, you know, just this is what I do every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I work out at 9:15 with Jocelyn. I know Betty, Darcy, Yvonne, you guys, that's kind of more your mentality. But those of you doing them on YouTube might be looking for a home workout series. And so you go onto the YouTube channel and you're like, I'm going to do, well, Jen Sharp is a great example of this. I'm going to work my way through Summer Meltdown, which was our last one, right? And so you go through those sessions and you feel like, yay, I did all 24 of them. And then you pick a new one. So when we started these classes, the very first series was called 6 Weeks of Will. So if you go back, and actually if you go back previous to January of this year, you'll see a big difference in me. So that's fun. You can see where I came from. You can see my beginning, my middle, and my current, and how different they look. And I know Jen Sharp does the live sessions, but also does old ones as well. And so you can hear where my mind and my thoughts were at that time. I was in a very different place, and so sometimes that's interesting too. Anyways, you may have noticed that I've added a hop to the warm-up, and these This is kind of moderate intensity, so we're increasing the intensity of the moves. And I always like to offer as an option to take the jump out and keep it to the low impact version, which would look like this, which is what we did in the first round. Especially on a day like today, where if you live in Ontario or kind of along the east coast, I see there are school closures in various areas based on the heat. Very, very, very hot right now. Very, very humid. There are warnings. Moderate your activity, moderate your intensity as needed. You also might be just starting your workout journey, your fitness journey, your move sessions. You might be just beginning, you might be restarting, and that might be another reason why you might want to modify anything I'm doing to a low impact version. And as a reminder, I want to encourage you always to go at your own pace, regardless of the day. You actually might have been doing these move sessions for the last 3 years, and maybe you're coming back from an illness, maybe you just had surgery, maybe you have had an injury and it's healing. So if there's any reason, you don't need a reason. If you're inclined to want to go at a lower intensity, that's perfectly okay. I always say the win is showing up and starting. That is the win. Everything that happens once you started is kind of a bonus, right? Because you showed up and you did it. Whether it sucked, whether you went 30%, whether you had to take way more breaks than usual, whether you didn't make it through the whole session because your baby started crying and you only got 10 minutes through, you still showed up, you still started, and you still did something versus nothing. And that is always really the true objective in anything we do, is to show up and to see what we have that day and give what we have that day. Anything else, if it turns out to be an amazing run, amazing workout, that's great. You wouldn't have known if you didn't start. And quite frankly, the best workouts, the best runs, the best performances, if you will, often occur on the days that we want to start the very least, right? They're the days that we would do anything to get out of it that day. And that's the day that we have this breakthrough. And so, on that note, it's important to remember that breakthroughs happen quite close to the moment you're most inclined to want to quit. So, if you're experiencing hardship, or if you're experiencing doubt, or, mental adversity right now, remember that the deeper that goes and the more intensified it gets, and the closer you get to wanting to quit, is simultaneously you're approaching that moment where things are about to flip for you. So celebrate I'm going to try to remember this next week when I'm out there suffering in a deep-seated low. Try to give myself this advice that the lower the low, the closer to the end. Actually, it reminds me of childbirth. My mom used to say, my mom did not have drugs with any of the 5 of us. She did with me, actually. But when I was pregnant with my kids and wanted to sort of endure labor, either drug-free or, anyways, she always said, when you think you can't take it anymore, that's when it's almost over. And long story short, I did 2 natural childbirths, and it's very true. That very moment when you think, I am going to die, give me those drugs, like seconds later, the baby pops out, right? Not quite that easily, but life, that is life, right? So anyways, just try to have that as something that, you know, is burned inside your head, where you can take a step back when you're struggling and remind yourself, hey, like, things are really hard right now. You know what that means? That means I'm about to break through. I'm about to overcome, and I'm about to, you know, get to where I didn't think I could go. So don't quit. Don't quit when you want to quit the most. Just take a deep breath and give it one more shot. And The Power of One More, that's an Ed Milet, his most recent book. We're going to do sets of 10s today. So I'm going to count. So you might be going, phew, maybe she won't talk quite so much because she has to count. It's true, I will count instead of talking. But that might be a good thing for you. Okay, so we're going to start with, we're doing legs today. I'm going to use my step today. And if you have a step, or you maybe use your stairs, or you could use a chair, anything, you know, a good Yeti cooler works really well too. We're not going to use that quite yet. We're going to start with squats. 10. Actually, no, we're going to start with marches. I want to encourage you to go heavy with your marches, because going too light with your marches, they're going to feel too easy. Now, if you're a beginner, ignore everything I just said. You're going to go light. If you are seasoned, you're going to go as heavy as you're comfortable with. If you're a beginner, you can do everything with no weights, because just moving your body in the beginning is going to be, I don't want to use the word pain, but you're going to be sore tomorrow. So let's start with 10 suitcase squats. All right. I changed my mind. I'm going to do them like this. Okay, so 10 squats. So 10, 9, 8, 7, it is so hot, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Okay, I gotta turn the fan on. That's one reason it's so stinking hot in here. I'm not sure how I turn the oscillating thing off on my fan, but I would like it to just blow directly on me. But anyways. Okay, so we're doing marches. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I don't know if I counted this wrong, but anyway. Okay, we're going to do split squats next. Actually, no, we're not. We're going to do how many times it's going to change my mind. We're going to do step-ups. One side, or both, sorry, alternating sides. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you're holding a weight, up 6, one-sided weight, switch sides is what I'm trying to say. 8, 9, again. If you're just starting, if you're just beginning, you can do those with no weight. You can also do a nice short step. And alternatively, if it's hot, you guys. What am I trying to say? You can march on the spot is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so we're going to, these ones, if you're new, per side. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and other side. So hot. See, the fan is oscillating. It does not need to blow the air over there. It needs to blow air directly straight on me. The whole, woo, get your balance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, that is our first set. Just gonna put this over here. So I'm gonna rest a little bit more today, probably. It's quite hot. Doing legs. I may do a session Friday. I will keep you posted because to make up for yesterday. It's a crazy week. My back to school, I leave on Sunday for Alberta for the divide. Okay. Try these 3 rounds at best. We're going to go back to squats. I'm going to do suitcase style this time. So I'm going to just show you guys different ways, right? So I held it on my shoulders last time. This time I'm going to do suitcase style. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. You may be in air conditioning right now, and I'm very jealous of you. And I also feel really bad for all the kids going to school today with no air conditioning. That's great. And the teachers, actually, because you know what? I think it's worse for the poor teachers. Okay, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to step ups. So on the step ups, I didn't say this last time, here's another option if you're a beginner. You can just do this. This is if you're like, here's the thing, I want to reach you no matter what level you're at. I want to give you an option no matter what level you're at. If you are, you know, really beginning, like literally like you do not move your body at all and you're dreadfully out of shape and maybe you have a lot of weight to lose. I want you have to start somewhere. Like somebody kind of gave me a finger wagging the other day in an RV group because I asked a question. Turns out it was probably a pretty basic question. I had a very basic answer, but I'm new, so I asked the question. When I asked the question, I was quite aware that I kind of said, it's probably me. I would just like the answer to the question, not the judging that goes with it, but I didn't say that, of course, but 1, 2, but I find these groups that are designed as a resource, every time somebody asks a question, people share their opinions. It's like, I didn't really need your opinion, can you just answer my question? Anyway, I needed the answer, so I posted the question, I got the answer, and somebody commented, this is why, you shouldn't rent your RV when you don't like you don't know. Okay, thanks. So I just politely said, you know, nobody starts out as an expert. And so that's what I'm saying to you right now is if you, like I have people in mind that I know, they're very overweight, they're starting at the beginning. Like there is a beginning for us all at some point, right? And our beginnings can look different. And I don't want you to think that you can't get to a point where you exercise. So I always want to offer you options. And the first thing is do not lift a weight, right? Do not lift a weight until your body's used to moving, because the reality is there's some of us who get to a place in life where we have not moved our body. You guys, that was me at one point. Exercise was not part of my life at all. I was quite a bit younger. 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, I was in high school. So the repercussions of that hadn't really compounded yet, right? But it's never too late to start. The key is you have to be humble enough to be okay to start, right? And to accept, I am at my beginning, and my beginning has to start somewhere. The thing is, the only way you change it is by showing up, right? Time and time again. And honestly, it's not about changing overnight. 4, 3, 2. It's not about changing overnight. It's not even about changing in 6 months or a year. It's about starting. It's about taking yourself off the path going this way. You know, taking this turn instead and starting down the road that goes this way. And staying on that road, not taking the next detour back to your road. So you're just right. So anyways, my point of that is this, if you have a step in your house, you know, so a step in your house might be about this high. You can do taps like this at any time. Anytime I'm doing something, you can do marching on the spot. You can do air squats. You can do bicep curls with nothing in your arms. All we're trying to do in the beginning is get you moving and get you to do a little bit each day. And if you're familiar with the concept of compound interest is what we're after, right? You're not going to see much in the beginning. So there's that old analogy, and I don't know, you got to Google this because I don't remember all the details. But basically it was like, you can get a penny every day that doubles, right? It'll double itself every day, or I'll give you $1 million right now. And I think it only takes 30 days for that penny doubled every day. I could be wrong. I can't remember. But the gist of the story, it was 3 months. The gist of the story is a penny is 2 pennies the next day, 4 pennies the next day, 8 pennies, 60, 32, and it compounds. And that's what happens with little things that we focus on in life. And it goes both ways. Like little errors that we make, like little flaws, can compound and take us in the reverse of where we want so very quickly, and we don't realize it. We have no idea how we got there. I'm actually trying to identify because I have some little habits that I feel like are not great. I have nothing overtly, what's the word, damaging, flawed in my routine right now, but something I'm doing is adding up to take me in the direction I don't want. So I'm kind of looking at all my little habits right now, thinking, okay, which is the culprit? And every single one I look at, I go, how can that be? How can that be it? But those are usually where our downfalls are. Is there in the things that we think are harmless? And quite honestly, our wins are wrapped up in the things that we're like, I'm not going to bother doing that. So that's why I say the key is to show up and start. And once you start making a habit, that's a habit in and of itself. Showing up and starting is a habit. Oh my God. worst part is getting a hold of this thing. Okay, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. And here's the thing, it's the beginning of September right now, which to me means that probably over the summer we've accumulated some bad habits that, you know, they started innocently enough in June, they carried through July into August. We're just now starting to see the repercussions of them, and it's a great time to reset. That's one of the things I love about the 5-day drop, is it's a hard reset. It's the best way, I think, to break out of a slump, break out of a plateau. 3, 2, or just pare yourself down to the basics and get rid of some of the habits, get rid of all the habits. Start from square one, like a nice fresh slate, so to speak. And then you do the 5-day drop, because you basically eat just what you need to eat for 5 days. You reset your entire system, and then you go, okay, what am I going to put back in? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's my last leg workout. It's less than a week before I start. A week from now, I'll be on day 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Whew. So this was an exercise that used to be, I cannot do it. It was very not in my wheelhouse. All right, so we're going to do a second round. That's the first round. We're actually going to do sumo squats next. So we're going to have our feet out, and we're going to squat in this kind of fashion with the knees driving out over the feet. The knees, sorry, I said, what body parts am I talking about here? I'm going to try this purple guy. Might be a bit heavy for this one, but I'm going to try it. Once I get my breath, because it's so stinking hot. She can turn this up more. Ugh. All right, let's get a hold of this guy first of all. All right, so again, if you're new, you're not, now, if you're new and you don't have the mobility yet to drive your knees out to the side without them caving in to the middle, which we don't want. We want to pull the knees towards the back wall. I think that's 5. 5, 4, 3, 2. Then you want to just go into a regular squat. I didn't finish my sentence, sorry. You want to go into a regular squat, if that's the case, because we don't want knees caving in. We want them tracking over the big toe. So you can go into a regular squat or work your way at tilting your legs out until you have the mobility. It's going to take a bit of strength here, strength from the core. Don't compare your day 1 to my day, whatever 4 years is. 1,000 plus. Day 1,500, right? Don't compare your day 1 to my day 1,500. You know, I'm going to share a reel today with the saying, okay, so we're going to go back to our step, and we're going to do 5 on each side, just one leg. So going up, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we're going to the other side now. Don't, oh, I can't think of the saying. Basically, don't come down on someone else in their winning season, because you don't know what they went through in their losing season, right? So sometimes we see people doing well, you know, and some of you might look at me and go, well, she's always been this way. She knows, right? And, you know, that's how I used to look at people. That's how I look at runners or somebody who's ahead of me. I think, well, that's just their normal. But they weren't always that way. Like I said earlier, we're not all experts in the beginning. We all have to be beginners at some point. The only way we get to the point where we're at is to continue to show up through the awkwardness of, sorry, it's okay, 10 on each side. The awkwardness of the beginning. 3, 4, 5. We have to put in our time. You know, I tell my kids this as they are on sports teams, you know, and sometimes they go from being the senior on a team to the rookie on a team, and it's like, dude, you gotta put in your time. Like, you are a rookie, like you are nobody right now. Or like Dixon went from being a grade 8 to a grade 9, like you're a minor niner, like you're insignificant. You have to earn, you know, your seniority in life, right? Seniority, you know, comes with time and experience. You don't just get that. Be a beginner. Humble yourself. You know, one of the nice things, and here's the thing, you guys, like a few years ago, I went from, over the course of some short years or months, I went from being sort of a senior in terms of I was in great shape, fittest shape of my life, feeling really confident, really good about myself, to being like, just trying to think, so 10, we're going to do lunges next. I need to do some lunges today. To being like really out of shape and thinking, how did I get here? Like, how is everything that used to be easy so hard for me now? Some of you might be in that place right now. Like, you might think, like Russian twist used to be like so easy. It was so hard. Everything was so hard. 10, 9, 8, 7, maybe 6. Maybe you were like a rep, you know, a rep athlete in school, and now you're like grossly overweight, right? And you're like inflamed, and you know, you got all these issues, and you're like, but I was once really fit. Maybe you're that person. Maybe you're like me, like I was not fit in high school. I'm fitter now. But anyway, a few years ago I went through where I was like, I mean, it's embarrassing and you feel shame. And I was ashamed because people who knew me would be like, what happened to her? She used to be so fit. She used to be so strong. You know, she was kind of a badass. And now she's a fat ass. From badass to fat ass, you guys. I'm swearing on camera, I'm sorry. And there's a part of you that just wants to like ignore that used to be like that. But then there was a part of me that's like, no, I can't live like this. I have to just suck it up and be willing to say, you know what, I screwed up the last 2 years. Like this is not me, or this is not what I want, and I gotta just start where I am. And it was humbling, and it was humiliating. I'm not gonna lie, and I went on camera and did it. Started these. So that's 6 weeks of will. You can look at videos from just last year and go like, wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, know it's easy for me now, but it wasn't. Like, I couldn't do push-up. Okay, some of you might have never been able to do push-up. That was my thing. And I couldn't do a push-up. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't run the way I used to be able to run. Oops. 2, 3, 4, 5. Went from hero to 0. 1, there's a wasp in here. 2, 3, 4, and 5. But just be willing to start, and just be willing to show up until. And I read this thing the other day, something about, I screw all these things up. Do this, this, and this. So it was like, show up, you know, so move your body. 2, 3, eat more protein. 4, get more sleep. 5, 6, I'm sorry, cut out alcohol. 7, 8, 9, 10. You know, these simple things change, and all of a sudden you're the one that other people think you were born with good genes. Imagine that. Imagine someone going, it's so easy for her, talking about you. The only difference is the choices that you make, the decisions you make, right? That's all the difference is between you and someone that you think was born that way, or that was this genetic. I mean, like, it's not that some people don't have, you know, good genes, or, you know, but I think our 40s is a bit of an equalizer in a way. Like, people, like, it's reckoning time. Like, it's time where you go, genes don't really count anymore, right? Like, if you count on your genes too long, they're not timeless. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, one more round of that. I'm just sweating buckets right now. Anyway, I don't mean to sound like I'm on my soapbox today. It's not at all. It's not at all what all of the words that I speak to you are words that I speak to myself. So, you know, I'm speaking to you, but I'm telling myself the same thing. And it's the words that I try to live by, because I have the same temptations as you. I have the same doubts as you. I have the same, you know, resistance as you. I've just trained myself not to indulge in those things. I was reading in the Born to Run book last night, this section about the physical capabilities of humans, and how we were born with infinite physical capabilities, right? Like, beyond the scope of our imagination, and our heads were created in such a way that we want to be conservative and always save. Like, save energy, save time, save, like, okay, so I'm going to count 4. I don't want to do any more of these. 3, 2, last one. Conserve. We want to conserve energy. We want to not work any harder than we have to. We want to conserve our money. We want to play it so safe. safe. So we were born with exponential potential, but a mind that wants to keep us safe. And so they grossly conflict. And how we're the only creature that thinks like that. Animals don't think like that. Animals deal with the moment. They're not like, well, 5 years from now, what if I don't like this area and I don't want to live here? Oh. I'm so proud of my ladies that came to class last night in this heat. So proud of them for showing up. Some of them are, new, so this would be so uncomfortable for them. And I just applauded them. I said, hey, like, that's the win today. Modify anything you need. Take breaks as often as you need. I think that was 5. I don't know. I warned you guys about my counting and talking. 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're supposed to be doing 10. So we're going to do 10 more. Or 5 more. 10, 5. 4, 3, 2. These are another example of, and those of you who've been working out with me for a while know how much I struggled with these. Those of you who are doing my older videos will see these were my nemesis. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so now we did our 10 each side. And lastly, we have our lunges, the times it. We are right on. Not a minute too soon. This was a tough one today. But, like I said, I start next Tuesday. I'm super excited that I'm getting these quality sessions in the week before. Four more lunges. 4, 3, 2. Tomorrow we'll do upper, and Friday we'll do core and maybe some mobility if nothing comes up. I'll be doing that on Friday. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for sweating it out today with me in this crazy heat wave that we're experiencing, and I will see you all tomorrow. Have an awesome day.